Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you how I take a normal metal trash can and turn it into a gravity-fed feeder with just the supplies you see here. So stay tuned, and I appreciate you guys watching. Alright, so one of the first things I do is I got an old piece of plywood here, and I'm just going to fit everything up so I can make some cuts. So just take the trash can, kind of loosely set it up here. I got for my trough that I make, I just put the two side pieces, kind of angle those a little bit, and then the end piece for the trough, just kind of square it all up, kind of get a good base of what I think it should look like. Something about like that. I might move this way a little bit. So something similar to that. And now I'll just kind of mark it off to where I want to make some cuts. So cut it here, all the way down. Cut it on the back side. All right, now I'll just go ahead and I'll mark these off, and then I'll make some cuts. These don't have to be exactly squared up, but just to get a rough estimate where I want to cut. There's my mark, so that's what I'm gonna cut out. Let's see what we do. Always make sure you wear your hearing protection. You don't want to lose that. So there you got it. I got my base cut out. So we'll get this part set aside, and then we'll start mounting the trash can to it. Okay, now that we have our base cut out, I'm just going to do another rough fit just to make sure everything looks the way I want it. So we'll put the trash can back. Two side pieces. Looks good. So everything looks good on it. We will paint the trash can now and cut the hole for the gravity fed portion of it. So let's get to it. All right, now that I'm going to cut the hole for where the corn's going to fall out of or whatever, and I'm going to just cut a small little kind of a dome shaped little section. So I know I got to come up about an inch I don't want it to be too big, because the bigger it is, the more corn will feed through at one time. It doesn't have to be that big. It's going to be held in with the trough anyway, so maybe about the size of a baseball. That's what I'm going to try to do. Or a tennis ball, around that size. Alright, I got that. Now I'm going to cut that out. Alright, to cut it, I'm just going to use this oscillating tool. I think I got a wood bit on here, but we're going to see how it works. It might be okay. Alright, that didn't go great, but it made the hole. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this backwards, or out, so it'll, I don't want to go in because that'll hold corn in. I'm going to push it so it kind of flows out. So, alright, now that I got my dimension cut out, I'm just going to try to bend it back a little bit. Just like that. Alright, looks good. So there you have it. You just need a little bit of a hole. I might peel this back just a little bit more so it's a little bit more flush with the base of the trash can in the bottom. But yeah, that's what we need. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint this bad boy up. Alright, for the paint, I just went and got some of the Rust-Oleum camouflage, and I went with the kind of the OD green color. So let's paint this thing up. Just took that shininess away. You may have to go back over it a couple times, but we'll let this dry. Good. Let's let it dry. Alright, now that while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and mount my trough to the board. So just taking some deck screws, screwing those down to the bottom side. Front part. Just kind of eyeball these from the bottom where they were in the trough. Alright, so that should be how we want it. We'll just do a quick test. Alright, everything looks good on that. That's a pretty decent area for the corn to come out. The only thing we have left to do is we're going to put a little spacer on the back, on the bottom. That way it kind of tilts the can up a little bit, which kind of helps the gravity part of the can come out. there you have it. That's the gravity fed feeder. You can adjust that angle in the back however you want. I might go up a little bit higher, but that's the basics of it. So cut your base. You don't have to have a base, but I've learned with some of the other feeders that I've had, if I don't have a base, they're not real stable, and I don't care if it's a half a bag of corn or whatever's left in there, they'll knock the can over. But with the base, they'll stand up. It'll go completely empty before it's knocked over. So, all right, let's get the rest of it together. All right, guys, it's done. This is how I make a metal trash can into a cheap gravity-fed feeder. I used to use plastic trash cans, but I found that the squirrels can chew the plastic up pretty good. So I started using the metal ones, and they've worked really good for me. So I'll put this guy out in the woods sometime this summer when I start using feeders again, and we'll see how it goes. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching.